Hey guys, Willie and Murphy here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. Today we're looking at the Dacia Sandero. James May will be proud. So some family friends of ours have recently purchased this vehicle. Bit of a grey area around to some things with it. So I've had the car, I think just over the 3 months, so their 3 months warranty is now expired and they're starting to experience a few issues. Firstly, squeaking brakes, and secondly, just a couple of other little glitches that they're not particularly happy with. So I'm just going to go over the car, give it a quick once over, just to make sure that everything is fine and safe for them. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be pretty straightforward to sort, and hopefully there's not going to be too many issues, but these things happen, and that's what we're here to sort. Anyway, this is a 66 plate Dacia Sandero, so let's clean up the road, see if we can listen to the squeaky brakes, and go from there. Hey, so this is the first time I've actually been in a Dacia. I believe they're very much like a Renault, just a slightly cheaper made equivalent of. So what have we done? Just under 100,000 miles, so 99,583. Let's see how we go. Very similar probably to the Renault Clio. I quite like the Renault Clio. So unfortunately a bit of a microphone malfunction there, and rather than you listening to rattling and banging, I thought I would just do a quick voiceover. So I've taken the car up the road for checking to make sure it's not pulling, no knocks, no bangs, and most importantly, as I described, the squeaks. Now there's a little bit of a knock on the front, and I couldn't really recreate any squeaking noises. Now I'm back. Let's have a quick look around the car. So this is the 65 plate Dacia Sandero. You know what? This is an ideal car for a first driver. I know the owner of this has just recently passed a driving test, and ideal for her and the kids. So it's a 5-door model. I don't know if this is the basic pack, but it's got pink hubcaps, which the kids love. But yeah, 4 doors, 5 seats. A little bit of corrosion on both the seals, which could be easily rectified with a bit of TLC. But you know what? It's actually really nice to drive, and it's quite nice to be in as well. Plenty of room, and yeah, they should hopefully be very happy with this going forward. There are a few bits and pieces of trim missing, and as you can see in there, there's a screw just down the bottom that's just loose flapping around. So that might need to be looked at some point as well. So under the bonnet, so this is exactly the same as our first Renault Clio, which was a 1.2 petrol, this is. But yeah, great little engines, really economical, really nice to use. Bit of corrosion around the battery clamps, bit of corrosion around the suspension turrets, around the chassis. Nothing too major, mostly this surface rust. But yeah, pretty impressed with the amount of room there is to work in there as well. So if you ever need a clutch, lovely. But there's a bit of a corrosion on the bonnet as well. Strange the way the car has odd bits of corrosion. But anyway, the boss is home, so I better get to some work and let's get stuck in. So first of all, jack the car up, checking the plane, the wheel left to right, top and bottom, and across the diagonals. With the wheel removed, I can check the condition of the brakes, and the front brakes, much like the previous Nissan Lease we had on, had no grease on any of the sliders. The pads are a little bit a bit dirty, so they need cleaning up. But suspension-wise is all good, so onto the back. I'm trying to do this quickly because it's crap weather at the moment. Passenger front tyre has a screw right on the edge. Now, I'm really hoping that's going to be only a small one, but if it is going down into the through, it's too close, cannot be repaired. Outer CV joint is held on with a plastic cable tie. While it's passable for an MOT, I just really dislike that. Back brakes, the handbrake locks up great, which is really good. However, when I spin this, there's absolutely no resistance to the brake pads whatsoever. So all that effort is on the manual handbrake in the back, and it's just, that's literally not even half a turn, and it just spins and spins and spins. And see, there's no foul play going on, it's just spinning. So I would suggest that we have no adjustment on the rear, over adjustment on the handbrake, which is making the brakes obviously work. They are drums on the rear, so handbrake needs to be de-adjusted to readjust these. Maybe not quite a job for tonight. I will take this hubcap off and the wheel off and just take a look. If there's adjustment on the rear and it's easy to, inside, then by all means I'll have a look. If not, I'll have to get the car back and have another look another day. But yeah, front pads, the sliders were really dirty. The pads had no lubricant on, so there was no grease and anything helping anything move, just metal and metal. So potentially that's causing the squeak. As I say, I didn't hear anything. The pads are in pretty good condition. This is in pretty good condition as well. Let's take a look at this side here and see what's what, but overall it's nothing really shouting obvious, other than of course, you know, the under adjustment that's pretty visible. Let's get this wheel off. I might not be able to get the wheel off actually. Let's see. Yeah. So with the rear wheel off the car, I can then inspect the drum, and I can remove the centre nut or the centre cover, which then exposes the 30mm lock nut inside. With that removed, I can then take off the actual drum and inspect the shoes. You can see I'm just previously looking through the stud hole, and that's for me to just try and work out where the adjuster is in case I need to de-adjust them to take the shoes off. With the drum off, I can inspect the wheel cylinders and I can clean and inspect the shoes. Everything looks good, so just a quick sand on the shoe friction plate and also onto the inside of the drum. Okay, so the rear shoes have adjusted or cleaned up. Inside the drum's been cleaned up. Just come on inside the car, and someone's obviously been in there previously because the cover is off at the back, but the adjustment is an adjusting nut underneath the handbrake. So I'm going to wind that all the way off. I can then adjust this side up here, go around, clean and adjust that side. Once I'm happy with how good the friction is on there, I can adjust the handbrake up, and that should hopefully remove any of those issues. We have back brakes and we won't just all be relying solely on the handbrake. So now I'm just adjusting the rear shoes up by bringing the shoes wider to the actual drum. Although it's proven a little bit difficult because the adjusters were a little bit stiff to operate. But once I got to there, I was pretty happy, and then managed to tighten up the centre nut before finally torquing it down. With the centre nut fully done up on the rear hub, it's just one little final tweak on the rear brakes before the wheel goes on, and then let's torque the wheel up and then move on to the other side of the car. Okay, so the passenger side's done. The rears are adjusted up. The adjusters are really stiff for some reason, but I've managed to adjust them up, so there is some resistance there, and they're obviously spinning far less, so you can feel there is resistance. The handbrake will be adjusted accordingly, and the front's obviously cleaned. I'm going to go around to the other side, and I'm not going to take up the road, make sure there's no squeaking, no binding, no pulling, anything like that, and then get the car back to him. So let's get stuck in. Right, so we're pretty much done. The front brakes have been cleaned and adjusted. The rear brakes have been cleaned and adjusted. The only thing I really obviously found was this. This is from the driver's front upper section of the spring. It's really cold out here. So the spring snapped. They've got a screw in the tyre. The rear shoes were not adjusted at all. So they needed a fair amount of work. All the front pads were in good order, discs were in good order, but there's no grease on the sliders, so they were not sort of able to move as freely as they should. So they've all been cleaned, greased, and ready to rock and roll again. Bit of corrosion on the seals, bit of corrosion on the chassis. Brake fluid level's pretty good and colour's pretty good. And there doesn't look too bad either. Looks a bit grimy from the outside, but actually I think it's just mostly the bottle. As I say, it's got new belts on it. There is a bit of a rattle underneath, but that actually might be the spring. That might be the spring that's just rattling around. So I don't think you can really tell that it's significantly lower that side as it is this. But I suppose there's a bit of difference in it. The other thing I noticed, the tyre sizes on the front are 195s and then 185s on the rear, which again, it's not the end of the world, but as long as they're the same across the axle. I've gone through, checked things over. Overall, the car's in pretty good order. Just that front corner really needs sorting now, and this side here needs a tyre. But I'm gonna get the hubcaps back on, top the wheels up, hubcaps back on, went up the road quickly. I have adjusted the handbrake, so it's gone to like 4 clicks, 5 if you really pull it, so that's pretty good. Yeah, let's get it back. It's cold, it's dark, and it's raining. Anyway, the Dacia Sandero. Okay, so let's get this car back, and all being well, I've no dramas. Lovely. I've got a good brake pedal, good handbrake. The only thing I haven't mentioned, which I touched on it previously, I'm not really happy with. I'm going to just reverse into my car. Visibility is a bit off, but the wipers are very, very slow. So, get the windows down so I can see. I won't crash into my car. There we go. Perfect. All right. Let's get this back and on to the next one. So if you have enjoyed this, as always, hit the thumbs up button, comment down below, and if you haven't done so already, please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.